is from the Am I Overreacting subreddit. Got into a heated argument with future mother in law, and I don't want her in my life anymore. Am I overreacting? I, 29 male, and my fiance, 26 female, have been together nearly half a decade. She just donated part of her liver to her father because he had end stage liver disease. They were both hospitalized for recovery. As part of the preparation for the procedure, we made arrangements that I would be staying at her parents' place with her mom, who's 59ish years old, to make sure her mom's not alone and to drive her back and forth from the hospital, which was a 45-minute to an hour drive each way. I had no problem with that. I was more than happy to do it if it meant my fiance and my father-in-law were at ease. But I knew her mom's not the easiest person to deal with. Some history. In the early stages of our relationship, my then girlfriend argued with her mom, called me while I was living at my parents' place, and asked if she could come over because she was fighting with her mom. I cleared it with my mom, and she said, sure, yeah, come over. While she's en route to us, her mom calls my mom and threatens to call the cops if we let her in the house. Mind you, my girlfriend was 22 years old at this point, and my mother doesn't negotiate with terrorists. Anyway, her mom then begins to insult my mom's way of raising me and my sisters. And then my mom fires back with, my daughters aren't the one running away from home because they can't stand me. I later found out that made her mom cry. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, I guess. Anyway, fast forward. That year, I gave her mom and dad, because he was an accomplice, the silent treatment for not only disrespecting my mom, but also my family. My girlfriend asked if I could ever forgive her, and I said no. Eventually I did because it was important to my girlfriend. Anyway, years later, I've learned her mom is quite a piece of work. Not a day goes by around her where someone doesn't say something that she finds insulting and she snaps at them. Examples of recent times where she's been insulted. 1. We're in an elevator headed to finance. Mother-in-law decided to see father-in-law, who's still on a lower floor in the senior ICU and hadn't been transferred yet. I ask her if she wants me to accompany her. Mother-in-law, no, I know how to get around. Me, okay, you sure? Because you seemed a little lost earlier. I previously let her take the lead and she almost took us the opposite direction of where we needed to go. Mother-in-law, yes, you think I'm stupid? I know how to speak English. I can ask somebody if I need to. I can ask somebody, right? As she addresses the NPC in the elevator with us to prove her point. Apparently, I had implied she didn't know how to speak English or ask for directions within the brief dialogue I had transcribed. 2. We went to the hospital and security guards scanned her license and printed out a black and white photo of her. She said the photo looks like a man and demanded he take a new photo of her to put on the visitor's pass. To be. The next day, a new security guard took a photo of her and she didn't like the ratio of how much of her head was showing in the photo compared to the blank space. Her head was smaller in the picture taken this time, as she said that she can't see herself in the photo. The security guard told her, it's not for you, it's for us. As she proceeds to say, it should be for everybody, with attitude. 3. She decides to drive the last day because she wants to get used to doing it when I go back to work this week. We arrive at the hospital and she nearly makes a left turn to enter the exit of the valet parking lane, drop-off lane of the hospital entrance. I had to frantically say, no, please stop, to get her to stop from making the left turn in the middle of the road. This is on a 2-lane high traffic street that she almost does this on. She's been riding with me the last 3 days and I've taken the same route each time. I help her find the entrance, which is just a little further down the block. She pulls into a vacant spot that I guided her to so that the valet can get the car. She pulls in perfectly, no need for adjustment. She then keeps driving with a car right in front of us to adjust as if she's parallel parking to get the same result. I say, hey, it's okay. You don't need to do that. Just put the car in park. You won't need to adjust it anymore. Her, I know how to drive. And honestly, after 3 or 4 straight days of her throwing digs at me, at others, and just having to sit back and watch, I'd had enough. I told her, clearly not, since you almost went into the only part that says, do not enter, and got out of the car. I'll take responsibility for that one. This one, I could have just said nothing. Instead, I added fuel to the fire. My bad, especially knowing how she is. 4. Father in law is the recipient of the liver. He is immunocompromised presently. It is dangerous for him to get sick. We get to the floor where their rooms are and go to my fiance's room first. My fiance wants to walk to her dad's room, which is great. She's feeling marginally better and actually wants to get up and walk around the hall to him. We do that. Right before we enter his room, a nurse is sitting outside entering some info into a monitor terminal. She lets us know that we need masks. Makes sense. She hands me a box and I take out a few and distribute to my fiance and her mom. Fiance and I put on the masks. About to enter, then we hear, "Excuse me, you have to put on the mask." We turn around. Mom still hasn't put on mask. Mom, I didn't put it on because you, the lady sitting outside of the room, doing her own thing at the terminal, don't have a mask on, so why should I? I tell her in Spanish that she needs to put the mask on. Again, my Spanish comes out every now and then. It's not purposely done to imply she can't speak English, but regardless, a male nurse walks by who obviously heard me speaking Spanish to her and speaks to mother-in-law in Spanish, communicating the reasoning. Her, she cuts him off. "You can speak to me in English." And he's just stuck because he didn't know that he just insulted her for her to react like that. To be fair, most people don't. Mother-in-law was born in a Spanish-speaking country. She moved to the US and learned English. She speaks English very well, but there are still times when she mispronounces words and she has an accent that makes it pretty obvious English isn't her first language. Anyway, anytime anyone that is also bilingual speaks Spanish to her, she takes it as an insult. Male nurse is shocked. I signal to him that he's okay. It's not him.